true Dharma so divine, nobody close to me becomes my enemy. That's all I've got. Outside my father, the Lama is shining, while my own knowledge cleans the stains up inside. And in between, confident understanding starts to gleam. I've got no doubts about Dharma. That's all I've got. Outside, the 6 kinds of beings are shining. Inside, compassion for everyone shines. And in between, I remember my meditation experiences. No self-clinging, only compassion. That's all I've got. Outside, the 3 realms are shining in freedom. Inside, the wisdom, self-arisen, shines. And in between is the confidence of realizing basic being. I've got no fear of the true meaning. That's all I've got. Outside, the 5 sense pleasures are shining. Inside, the wisdom, free of clinging, shines. And in between is conduct where everything tastes the same. I am not thinking joy and pain are different things. That's all I am. Outside, creation are shining in ruins. Inside, the freedom from hope and fear shines. And in between, I'm not sick with striving or straining. No, no, no. I am not thinking right and wrong are 2 different things. That's all I am.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay. So then next one, who is going to do? I think Zui, you
I
ready?
can sing one. This is Lavika.
Okay, Lavika, then go first. Sing.
Oh, okay. The song is called The Profound Definitive Meaning, sung on the snowy range. For the mind that masters the emptiness dawns. In the unseen, not even an atom exists. A seer and seen, refined until they're gone. This way of realizing view, it works quite well. When meditate, clear light river flow. There is no need to confine it to sessions and breaks. Meditator and object, refined until they're gone. This heart-bone of meditation, it beats quite well. When you're sure that conduct's work is luminous light, and you're sure that interdependence is emptiness, a doer and deed refined until they're gone. This way of working with conduct, it works quite well. When biased thinking has vanished into space, no phony facades, 8 dharmas nor hopes and fears, a keeper and kept, refined until they're gone. This way of keeping samaya, it works quite well. When you finally discovered your mind is Dharmakaya, and you're really doing yourself and others good, a winner and one, refined until they're gone. This way of winning results, it works quite well. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lavika. Zui, please.
Sure. So I'll just lead up to it a little bit. Milarepa was walking along the road and he was going to, I'll just I have to look to get the place again because I always forget the place. So he arrived at Dingri, and he was tired, so he sat down by the side of the road and just watched what was going on. And there were 3 girls there. And one of them said, "Oh, what a piteous creature. I'm so glad I hope I don't get born as such a piteous creature as this." And the other girl said, "Oh, I'm just so sorry for him, the poor man." And Milarepa thought for a minute, and then he said, he felt sorry for them. So he stood up and he said to them, "Your compassion is wonderful, but it's wrong because it comes from pride and a wrong understanding. So I have a song for you. Listen to my song. I invoke the compassionate Marpa, grant me your blessing. Sentient beings engulfed by their bad karma show no respect to others but only to themselves. Unfortunate girls, you have faith only in ordinary life. Your self-esteem and wrong perception burn like a fire. I feel pity for such immature beings. In these dark days of the Kali Yuga, deceitful people are honored like gods. Hypocrites are prized more than gold, and the faithful are rejected like stones on the road. I have pity for such confused beings. You proud young girls, my sisters, and I, Milarepa of Gutang, we are disturbing to each other. Let us compare our pities, and by tilting the lance of compassion, see which will be victorious in the end. To those ignorant ones indulging in idle talk, Milarepa replies by teaching the Dharma. He returns wine for water. He returns good for evil. So he spoke. And the result of his song was that the young girls all asked for his pardon and did prostrations to him and followed his teachings after that. And that's the end of that little story.
Thank you, Zui. Great. Yeah.
So
Next.
I have a very short one, and then we have one together, but I have a really short one that I sing to myself a lot. Should I do it now?
Sure.
go ahead.
Okay. Emma, the phenomena of the 3 realms of samsara, while not existing, they appear. How incredibly amazing. Emma, the phenomena of the 3 realms of samsara, while not existing, they appear. How incredibly amazing. Short.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Khenpo, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just found out about this a few minutes ago, but I have one that I would like to try to play. I try to sing it almost every day, but it's not in English. So if I can, I would like to try to play it for you to hear it. And if it doesn't work, I'll just turn it off. Is that okay?
Can you say again? I didn't get one part. You're going to
Can
sing?
you hear me?
Yes. Sir.
Well, see, I sing this sometimes, but it's not in English, and I can't sing it by myself. So I'd like to try to play it and see if you can hear it. And if you can't hear it, I will turn it off. Is that okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay, let's try then. Let's see if it happens. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Jilame kula soa ade Tanju Sinba Chingelo Akiba Nyengi Mato Oshi Dubatai Matoa Rite diru Ina Nejo Samba Geba Toki Mato Oshi Nawasime Matoa Rite diru Ina Nejo Samba Shiva mi mato oshi roru chai mato Rite diru Ina Nejo Samba Sharu Tangme Ji Ipa Tang Zayu Bu Yi Sawaru Rite diru Ina Nejo Samba Rola Kormi Batam
Shinamumi me baru Riche diru chi Nejo samba Nakarso di me badam Disons deux sauts, oh, mes parous. Je te Nejo samba Mime lumbe Dambo chive emlandi Joe tundu te basho Tena samba
Did you like that?
You're on mute, Khenpo.
Okay, great. Thank you, Lisa. So next, who's
You're welcome.
next? James, please. Can you sing?
Definitely, Khenpo.
Okay.
So this is called 12 Kinds of Yogic Joy. I'm going to put a link to the lyrics into the chat so people can follow along if they like. It's actually a very easy melody. Like a criminal gaining his freedom from a dungeon hole, the yogi who gives up his native country knows bliss. Like a spirited horse that's freed of hobbling chains, the yogi who slips from perceived and perceiver knows bliss. Like a deer that has been wounded will lie low. The yogi who lives on his own all alone knows bliss. Like the king of birds that wings his way on high, the yogi who gains command over view knows bliss. Like the wild wind that's roaming through the sky, the yogi not blocked by any obstruction knows bliss. like a shepherd tending his flock of white fleeced sheep. The yogi tending his luminous empty experience knows bliss, like the massive bulk of the central king of mountains. The yogi, unfazed by transition and change, knows bliss, like the constant flow of a great and mighty river. The unbroken flow of experience, yogi knows bliss, like a human corpse as it lies in a cemetery. The yogi who shuts all activity down knows bliss, like a stone that's thrown into the deep blue sea. The yogi who never turns back again knows bliss, like the sun that rises and lights up the whole sky. The yogi who lights up everything knows bliss, like a palm tree when you strip it of its leaves. The yogi, not needing to be reborn, knows bliss. This melody on these 12 kinds of yogic happiness is a Dharma gift to all of you. May it answer your questions well.
You're muted, Khenpo. That was beautiful, James. Thank you.
James, you done? Finish, right?
That's the song finished.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so next, who is going to sing?
I have one.
Okay.
It's a story. It's called The Tale of Red Rock Jewel Valley. It's a little big, so I shorten a little. Hope it's okay. So Milarepa was inside the cave, and then he gets out. And then when he comes back to the cave, it were there 5 Indian demons. So Milarepa, knowing their evil motives, began the wrathful Buddha meditation and recited forcefully a powerful incantation. Still the demons would not leave. Then with great compassion he preached the Dharma to them, yet they still remain on the cave. Milarepa finally declared, "Through the mercy of Marpa, I have already fully realized that all beings and all phenomena are of one's own mind. The mind itself is a transparency of voidness. What therefore is the use of all this, and how foolish I am to try to dispel this manifestation physically?" Then Milarepa, in a doubtless mode, sang the song of realization. "Father Guru, who conquered the 4 demons, I bow to you, Marpa the translator. I, whom you see, the man with the name, son of Darsan Garmo, was nurtured in the mother's womb, completing the 3 veins. A baby I slept in my cradle, a youth I reached the door, a man I lived on the high mountain. To the storm on the snow peak is awesome, I have no fear. Through the precipice is steep and perilous, I am not afraid. I am whom you see, the man with the name, am a son of the golden eagle. I grew wings and feathers in the egg. A child I slept in my cradle. A youth I watched the door. A man I flew in the sky. Through the sky is high and wide, I do not fear. Through the way is steep and narrow, I am not afraid. I, whom you see, the man with the name, am a son of Nya Chen Yormo, the king of fishes. In my mother's womb I rolled my golden eyes. A child I slept in my cradle, a youth I learned to swim. A man I swam in the great ocean. Through thundering waves are frightening, I do not fear. Through fishing hooks abound, I am not afraid. High you see the man with a name. M, son of Gagyu Lamas, faith grew in my mother's womb. A baby I entered the door of Dharma. A youth I study Buddha's teaching. A man I live alone in caves. Through demons, ghosts, and devils multiply, I am not afraid. The snow lion's ponds are never frozen, or of what use it would be to call the lion king, he who has the three perfect powers. The eagle never falls down from the sky. If so, would a net be absurd? An iron block cannot be cracked by a stone. If so, why refine the iron ore? I, Milarepa, find neither demons nor evils. If they frighten Milarepa, to what avail would be his realization and enlightenment? He, ghosts and demons, enemies of the Dharma, welcome you today. It's my pleasure to receive you. I pray you, stay, do not hasten to leave. We will discourse and play together. Although you will be gone, stay the night. We will pit the black against the white Dharma and see who plays the best. Before you come, you vow to afflict me. Shame and disgrace will unfollow if you return with this vow unfilled. Milarepa rose with confidence and rushed straight at the demons in his cave. Frightened, they shrank back, rolling their eyes in despair and trembling violently. Then, swirling together like a whirlpool, they all merged into one and vanished. This was the demon king Vinayaka, the obstacle maker, who comes searching for evil opportunities. Though Milarepa, the storm too, was undone by his creation. By the mercy of my guru, he had no chance to harm me. After this, Milarepa gained immeasurable spiritual progress. Sorry, my English. I hope you understand.
You're muted, Khenpo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so the next who's okay, next Sandra.
Okay, I have a short one.
Okay.
It's about the paramitas. Apart from giving up self-grasping, there is no other perfection of generosity. Apart from giving up deception, there is no other perfection of moral conduct. Apart from being fearless of the ultimate truth, there is no other perfection of patience. Apart from remaining inseparable from practice, there is no other perfection of diligence. Apart from abiding within the natural state, there is no other perfection of meditative concentration. Apart from realizing the nature of mind, there is no other perfection of wisdom.
Can read one.
Oh, Sandra, finish.
Yeah, I said it was short.
Yeah. Okay, so now who's next then?
I can read one.
Yeah, short, please.
Mine is very short. And I will read it rather than sing it so I don't contribute more to samsara. This is called The Three Kinds of Confidence in Genuine Reality. At the feet of Marpa, the translator, I bow. From meditating here and there in natural retreats, I've gained confidence that there is no arising. This swept away my taking past and future lives as two, exposed all 6 realms' appearances as false, and cut right through believing all too much in birth and death. I've gained confidence in everything as equal. This swept away my taking happiness and grief as two, exposed the ups and downs of feelings as false, and cut believing that there are some to have and some to shun. In inseparability, I've gained confidence. This swept away samsara and nirvana seen as two. It exposed the exercise of the path and levels as false and cut right through believing all too much in hope and fear.
Well, thank you very much, Bob. Okay, next. Anyone?
I have one.
You can explain also is great too. Thank you, Amida.
I'm not sure I can explain, but I'll read it. Okay, this one is 30 instructions the Guru taught. Son, for reliance, the jewels are excellent, he said. Keep to faith as your friend, he said. Concepts are a great demon, he said. Pride is a great Mara, he said. Slander is a great negative action, he said. Jealousy is harmful on the path, he said. Alcohol brings one to ruin, he said. If you don't confess misdeeds through the 4 powers, you'll wander among the 6 realms of beings, he said. If you don't make efforts in the accumulation of merit, you won't attain the happiness of liberation, he said. If you don't abandon the 10 non-virtues, you must experience the sufferings of the lower realms, he said. If you don't meditate on emptiness and compassion, you won't attain ultimate Buddhahood, he said. If you want to attain Buddhahood in this life, look undistractedly at your mind, he said. For the ultimate condensed meaning of the Tantras, meditate on the 6 Dharmas, he said. For the ultimate condensed meaning of the instructions, meditate on secret mantra, the path of means, he said. If you wish for respect, renown, and gain, you'll be delivered to the mouth of Mara, he said. If you praise yourself and disparage others, you'll fall off a frightful precipice, he said. If you don't tame the elephants of mind, then you'll be deceived by the key instructions words, he said. To rouse bodhicitta is the greatest crop, he said. The view of birthlessness is excellent, he said. For practice, the path of means is profound, he said. Apply it with the nadis and pranas, he said. Recognize co-emergence, he said. Follow a noble Lord, he said. Don't let your life be carried by distraction, he said. Look at the unborn nature of your mind, he said. Don't hope for happiness in samsara, he said. Don't see suffering as a fault, he said. If you realize the mind, that is Buddhahood, he said. There is no need for many elaborations, he said. There are no more profound points than these, he said. Put them into practice, he said. Thank you.
Thank you, Amina. Okay, so then next, who can do?
I can sing another one, Khenpo.
Sure.
I will post the lyrics into the chat because they don't exist on the web as far as I know. Unfortunately, they're quite extensive, but okay. The authentic way to approach Dharma. All you fortunate, genuine people, I'd like to ask you this. This life is deceiving, don't you understand? And material things are illusion, don't you understand? And samsaric existence is peace, don't you understand? And all happiness is a dream, don't you understand? Criticism and praise are echoes, don't you understand? Appearances are your mind, don't you understand? And your own mind is Buddha, don't you understand? And Buddha is Dharmakaya, don't you understand? Dharmakaya is Dharmata, don't you understand? And when you realize this, whatever appears is mind. Throughout the day and night, look at your mind. When you look at your mind, you don't see anything. When you don't see anything, let go and relax. If you ask for my opinion about Mahamudra, it's just mind's basic nature and nothing more than that. The knower cannot be found. Settle right into that. Equipoise and post-meditation are inseparable. So I don't have any levels or stages of meditation. Whatever it is that's appearing, it is empty of itself. And cling to it or not, its emptiness does not change. With certainty in view, I taste the unborn, and realization follows in meditation. So practices of karma mudra, nadi, prana, and bindu, reciting secret mantras and meditating on devas, abiding in Brahma's 4 levels and other practices are just methods for entering the practice of Mahayana. And if you meditate on them with clinging and fixation, you can try and try, but you won't abandon attachment and anger's root. So it's better to know all appearances are just your own mind, and mind itself is empty. That's what you should know. When you join this understanding with your experiences, then ethics, offering, and so forth, all the positive deeds are without exception perfectly complete. Are without exception perfectly complete. Oh, and someone found the link on the web.
Thank you very much, James. Okay, so next then who can do is eager fertility. Can you do the same? Read.
I close. Yes, yes. I wait a second on my telephone. Okay. I will read, not say. I will. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now because I don't.
Okay.
Okay. I will read. My English not so good. This song was sung to a young, well-dressed girl who, after asking Milarepa about his father and mother, brothers and sisters, first inquired, "But do you also have any samsaric companions, sons, and belongings?" Milarepa then sang in reply, "At first my experiences in samsara seemed most pleasant and delightful. Later I learned about its lesson. In the end, I found a devil's prison. These are my thoughts and feelings on samsara, so I made up my mind to renounce it. At first, one's friend is like a smiling angel. Later she turns into a fierce, exasperated woman. But in the end, a demoness is she. These are my thoughts and feelings on companions. So I made up my mind to renounce a friend. At first, the sweet boy smiles, a baby of the heaven. Later, he makes trouble with the neighbors. In the end, he is my creditor. These are my thoughts and feelings about children. So I renounce both sons and nephews. At first, money is like the dish-fulfilling gem. Later, one cannot do without it. In the end, one feels a penniless beggar. These are my thoughts and feelings about money. So I renounce both wealth and goods. When I think of this experience, I cannot help but practice Dharma. When I think of Dharma, I cannot help but offer it to others. When death approaches, I shall then have no regret. That's all.
Thank you very much, Igor.
Thank you.
So now, yeah, next Debbie, please.
Did you say me, Khenpo?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just listening. I don't have anything to read.
Wow.
I know. I'm just enjoying listening. Thank you.
I have one, Khenpo.
Okay, thank you, Sally.
So I have a Evans Wentz translation, so it's really old English from 1928. And so this is like the original translation. So, and this is a sort of the last song that Milarepa gave. He had died. He'd passed into clear light, but his principal disciple Reichung had not been able to approach his body, and he was distraught because he had this very mournful prayer that he gave out to Milarepa, and Milarepa was, even though he'd gone into clear light and was on the funeral pyre, he was so moved by the devotion of Ray Chungpa that he came back, and this was his final song before the Dakinis started singing. And so it says, meanwhile, I'll just read a little bit about what it said was going on, and then I'll read Milarepa's song. Meanwhile, Jetson had risen in the indestructible body, into which are merged both the spiritual body and the phenomenal body. The flames of the funeral pyre assumed the shape of an 8-petaled lotus. And from the midst of this, like the stamens of the blossom, Jetson sat up, one of his knees half raised and his right hand extended, in the preaching attitude, pressing down the flames. Listen, he said, unto this old man's last testament. Then both as a reply to Reichung's prayer and as his final teaching to his disciples, with his left hand placed against his cheek, he sang this final hymn concerning the 6 essential commandments from the midst of the funeral pyre in a divine voice issuing from the indestructible body. O Reichung, my son, as dear to me as mine own heart, hear thou this hymn, my final testament of precepts. In the samsaric ocean of the locus 3, the great culprit is the impermanent physical body. Busy in its craving search for food and dress, from worldly works it findeth ne'er relief. Renounce, O Reichung, every worldly thing. Amid the city of impermanent physical forms, the great culprit is the unreal mind, submissive to the form of flesh and blood. It findeth ne'er the time to realize the nature of reality. Discern, O Reichung, the true nature of the mind. Upon the frontier of the intellect and matter, the great culprit is the self-born or created knowledge. Err on its guard against accidental or destructive mishaps to itself. It findeth ne'er the time to realize the true nature of the unborn knowledge or truth. Keep, O Reichung, within the safe stronghold of the unborn. Upon the frontier of this and of the future life, the great culprit is the self-born or created consciousness. It seeketh there a form it hath not, and findeth ne'er the time to realize the truth. Find, O Reichung, the nature of the truth eternal. Amid the city of illusoriness of the locus 6, the chief factor is the sin and obscuration born of evil karma. Therein the being followeth dictates of likes and dislikes, and findeth ne'er the time to know equality. Avoid, O Reichung, likes and dislikes. Within a certain unseen region of the heavens, the perfect Buddha, expert in subtle argument, hath propounded many subtle and profound apparent truths. And there one findeth ne'er the time to know the real truths. Avoid, O Reichung, subtle arguments. Gurus, devas, dakinis, combine these in a single whole and worship that. The goal of aspiration, the meditation, and the practice. Combine these in a single whole and gain experimental knowledge. This life, the next life, the life between in Bardo. Regard these all as one and make thyself accustomed to them as one. This is the last of my selected precepts and of my testament the end, that there no more of truth is there, than that no more of truth is there, O Reichung. Acquire from it practical knowledge, O my son. Thank you. I find it interesting because it's such an old translation from 1928, and to see how it's changed over time.
That's a wonderful one. Very good story. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, Bobby. Do you have a Bobby?
Yeah, I can read one.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, I'll read, I won't sing. For him who keeps the tradition of the lineage, all errors vanish in the ultimate. All things come with ease at the right time. He who acts like this is a true yogi. In the practice of Mahamudra, there is no room for thinking with a clean mind. When realization of the state beyond play words arises, there is no need to chant or keep the rules. Yogis wandering in towns always yield themselves to the will and favor of relatives and friends. Their actions become pretentious, their talk nonsensical. The light of the void by hypocrisy is dimmed. If in town one pays no attention to what people feel, troubles and worries will rain upon him. To avoid fear and regret at the time of dying, to escape the fatal chasm of samsara, one should conquer the enemy, desire. Remember always transiency and death, and ever meditate in solitude. He who observes not his mind nakedly becomes apathetic and indifferent. He who prays not with earnestness is prone to be misled by false experiences. If with great diligence and perseverance, he does not practice the profound teaching of the skillful path, he is prone to be vanquished by desires. If he remains in a hermitage, merits will surely grow within him. That's the end.
Thank you, Bobby. Okay. Annie Yutso.
I'm sorry, I don't have anything to read. I'm just totally enjoying and appreciating everything that everyone's doing.
Oh, thank you.
I have one, Khenpo.
Yeah. Thank you, Gabalu.
It's called No Birth, No Base and Union. I'm gonna read it. The true nature of appearances is that they've never been born. If birth seems to happen, it's just clinging, nothing more. The spinning wheel of existence has neither a base nor a root. If things seem to be stable, that's only a thought. The true nature of the mind is union, inseparability. If you separate its aspects, you're hooked on some view. The sign of the true lamas is that they hold a lineage. The ones who make stuff up are just being dumb. The mind's basic reality is like the clear and open sky, but the dark clouds of thoughts just cover it all up. So let the lama's pit advice be the wind that blows those clouds away. Even confused thoughts themselves are clear light that shines so brilliantly. Experiences so bright like sun and moonlight, without any direction, clarity shines timelessly. You cannot hold it, you can't say what it is. So many kinds of certainty shine like the stars in the sky. Whatever arises is the greatest bliss. Its nature is simplicity, the Dharmakaya expanse. The 6 dependent appearances are empty naturally. This natural flow is effortless, there's not a klesha in sight. Within this basic state, completely relaxed. Wisdom without fixation abides continuously. The 3 kayas inseparable, the greatest miracle. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gabalu. Okay, Kates, please.
I have this to offer first. It's a picture of me and the ODU on the UVA lawn with the rotunda in the background. And of course, I'm reading the 100,000 songs of Milarepa. And secondly, I'm going to show you up close.
Curtis, you have 2 mics on and they're getting feedback.
Yeah, this will be better. I want y'all to see the Milarepa on the altar. It's one of the pictures from the wall that we moved onto the chair there in front of the altar. And for those of you that came late, there's Khenpo. And that's my offering.
Thank you, Curtis. That was wonderful.
Okay, so Curtis finished. I think that's it. His song. Good, Curtis. Thank you. So next, then anyone volunteer? Singers? Hi, girl, please.
Okay. This is a series of days of teaching that Milarepa gave to his disciples. And in it, he sang the song on how to see the gods. So I'll tell you a little bit about the story first from the book that I'm reading. Men of Nayang and Dingri and all benefactors and followers prepare a ritual feast and gather round me. Let all other men in the region who have not seen me but wish to meet me come also. All the disciples spread the word. Many of those who heard these words did not believe the master had actually said them, but the faithful laymen and disciples who followed the teaching, as well as other people who wished to meet the master, gathered at Shuar. Then for many days, the master spoke to them of the doctrine of karma and on the ordinary level and of the essential nature of reality on a higher level. During this time, several of the chief disciples clearly saw that the sky was filled with gods, listening to the words of the master. Many others, intuitively feeling that the sky and the earth were filled with gods and men, listening to the teaching, experienced a state of great joy. In plain view of everyone, a rainbow canopy appeared in the limpid sky. Sacrificial offerings, parasols, and innumerable banners took form in 5 colored clouds, filling the atmosphere. There fell a rain of flowers in 5 different colors. Exquisite music could be heard, and there was the fragrance of exotic perfumes. The lesser disciples, having perceived these miracles, asked the master, "We have the impression that the sky and earth are filled with gods and men listening to the Dharma, and we are overcome with joy. What is the cause of these miracles?" The master replied, "Good human disciples like you, enlightened yogins, and lay devotees are few, but celestial listeners fill the entire space of the skies and are offering me the 5 objects of sensory joy. And this is what evokes well-being in you. This is the reason for the signs around you, which some of you sense and others perceive directly." "Well done," they said. "Why don't we see all the signs?" "Among the gods, there are many who have achieved awakened states of non-returning, and others who have attained awakened insight. One needs subtle vision to see the gods, or else one needs intense yearning for virtue and awareness, and a mind unstained by delusion and defilement. If you are able to see the chief gods, you will see their followers. If you strive in this way, you will see the nature of your own mind, which is the ultimate God." And he sang his song of how to see the gods. Quote, "Homage to Marpa, the compassionate one. Blessed be your lineage, may it be noble. The celestial listeners come from the joyful realm of the gods to hear the hermit Milarepa and fill the boundless sky. Except for those who possess the 5 levels of vision, no mortals can see them. I see them all clearly, but common folks see only the celestial offerings. The sky is filled with rainbows and light, a shower of celestial blossoms fall, fragrant incense, the air, and harmonious music resounds. Joy and happiness abounds in all those present due to the compassion of the Kagyu Lamas. Those of you under their protection who wish to see the gods and Dakinis who are listening to my teaching, first hear my song." And so he did another long, long song about that. But I think it's a fun story.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Gail. Okay, next, then Mateo. Do you have a song? Okay, so you don't have. Anyone have?
I can sing another one,
I have a
Khenpo.
poem.
Oh.
I have.
Day 2. My name is Susie.
Yes, Susie, please.
Thank you. I'm also new to your group.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for the invitation. This is from Miraculous Journey, New Stories and Songs by Milarepa, translation by Lama Kunga Rinpoche and Brian Castillo. It's called Bandits of the Mind. After traveling about 3 days more, Milarepa and Ray Chongpa came to the trail that led through a narrow ravine. a typical place for bandits to wait. Rechongpa cried, "We had better hurry. Bandits may be waiting in this ravine." In reply, Milarepa sang this song. To translator Marpa, my precious Lama and soul protection, from all fears I pray. Empower me to melt the ice of my mind. Through beginningless time, we've lived in the narrow ravine of lower states, on the vast plain of samsara. Sometimes the bandit of intense hatred overtook us, dragged us to the depths of hell, and tortured us by boiling, burning, and cutting, or cast us into a dark wasteland of ice, where the intensely cold winds froze us. Sometimes the bandit of intense desire overtook us, dragged us to the lower state of frustrated spirit, and tormented us with unbelievable hunger and thirst. Sometimes the bandit of delusion overtook us, dragged us to the lower state of animals, mired us in the unbearable stupidity, and slaughtered us. Through the beginningless time, we've endured the pain of lower states, seldom born in the three higher states, for a moment's rest or to do meaningful work. Why should we now be afraid to stay in this ravine in the realm of men? In fact, when you've got nothing, you are free of all enemies. Let those bandits do as they please. Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, so next, then who? James, you said, right? You have another one?
I can sing one if that works.
Yes.
So this is the lead up to this is very short, so I'll read it. It's in the Chris Stagg translation of the 100,000 Songs. It's chapter 43, Drayton Repa. Namo Guru. When the Jetson Milarepa was staying at the Poto Red Rock in Drin, there was a teacher from Drin of the Dre clan who had heard of the Jetson's renown, but had never met him. With faith, he came to see the Jetson in person. In the cave where Milarepa dwelled, there was nothing besides some bare necessities. The teacher thought, he doesn't even have any scriptures or Buddhist images, no Dharma materials at all, not to mention any kind of material comforts. What will happen to him when he dies? The Jetson knew these thoughts had arisen in his mind and said, Teacher, there's no need to think like this. I do have such supreme scriptures and holy images. Therefore, I will not have any regrets at the time of death. I will be joyful. Then he sang this song of realization. Let me post this in the chat so people can see the lyrics. 3 things that are all right. To all Father Gurus, I bow in supplication. In my own body, which is the mandala of the victor, the deity, the nature of all 3 times Sugatas resides, and through the blessing of not clinging to the senses pleasure flow, I'm making offerings all through the day and all throughout the night. And so not having a thing to offer on the outside, that's all right. And in the palace that builds itself up, the 3 realms, there are 6 kinds of beings, and all with Buddha nature are endowed. Since I've received the revelation of this wisdom so immense, wherever I stay's a boundless palace, whoever I'm with, a deity. Whatever I do is Dharma Dhatu, its enactment. And so not having a deity picture on the outside, that's all right. And to the paper of white and red outer appearance, I apply the ink of wisdom, the primordial and immense, and with the 5 sensory faculties, I write the letters. Whatever appears is Dharmakaya. I have come to comprehend, and so not having any text with script in black, now that's all right. All beings that circle in samsara's 3 realms have Buddha nature, but though they have it, they do not realize they do. If you apply these instructions so profound, you will not part from the 3 kayas. This is samadhi excellent. Whenever death sees fit to come, it's fine by me.
Thank you very much, James. Okay, so next, Bobby, you going to sing?
No, I'm not a singer, Khenpo.
Okay, so you have something read?
I can find something.
Okay. Anyone has any already?
I have a
Yes.
I have a short one, but I think Kate does. I think that's Kate that keeps saying she has
It's
something.
okay. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
Kate,
fine.
Kate has been trying to speak for a while. Let's let Kate go.
It's okay.
Okay, then.
Okay, I have a poem. Is that okay? It's not a song, it's a poem.
It's from Milarepa?
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's when he encountered a rock demon, he sang a song to point out that the demon attacking him is acquiring a lot of bad karma. So the song is about realizing the nature of karma as well as the Dharmakaya. So it's a poem. River ripples and waves, these 3, when emerging, arise from the ocean itself. When disappearing, they disappear into the ocean itself. Habitual thinking, love, and possessiveness, these 3, when arising, arise from the alaya consciousness itself. When disappearing, they disappear into the alaya consciousness itself. Self-awareness, self-illumination, self-liberation, these 3, when arising, arise from the mind itself. When disappearing, they disappear into the mind itself. The unborn, unceasing, and unexpressed, these 3, when emerging, arise from the nature of being itself. When disappearing, they disappear into the nature of being itself. These visions of demons, clinging to demons, and thoughts of demons, when arising, arise from the yogin himself. When disappearing, they disappear into the yogin himself. Since demons are the phantoms of the mind, it is not understood by the yogin that they are empty appearances. And even if he thinks they are real, meditation is confused. But the root of the delusion is in his own mind. By observations of the nature of manifestations, he realizes the identity of manifestations and void. And by understanding, he knows that the 2 are not different.
Meditation and not meditation are not two, but one. The cause of all errors is to look upon these two things as different. From the ultimate point of view, there is no view. If you make comparison between the nature of the mind and the nature of the heavens, then the true nature of being itself is penetrated. See now that you look into the true meaning, which is beyond thought. Arrange to enter into undisturbed meditation and be mindful of the unceasing intuitive sensation.
Thanks, Kate. Great. Okay, so Zoo will go first. Next.
Okay.
Thanks.
So this is one of my favorite stories because everybody knows Milarepa had a horrible temper at one time before he changed around. He had the worst temper ever. And he had been meditating and by himself in the caves. And so he was now out on the road on his journey before the girls, before James' songs. And he had only one pot that's all he had. And he was starving and he could barely walk. He'd made himself some nettle soup and he stumbled on the road and the pot fell down the hill and it broke into, like, there were just shards and pieces. And he thought, well, I guess I need to meditate on this. So this is just a very short little song that he sang to himself. At the same moment I had a pot, and I did not have a pot. This example demonstrates the whole law of the impermanence of things. In particular, it shows the human condition. If this is so, I, the hermit Mila, will strive to meditate without distraction. The precious pot containing all my riches becomes my teacher in the very moment it breaks. This lesson on the inherent impermanence of things is a great marvel. And there were hunters who heard him sing this song, and they saw what a state he was in and that he'd lost the only thing he had and all the food, so they fed him, and he stayed with them for a little while and gave him teachings and more songs. That's the end. It's a really short one.
Yeah, thanks, Zoo. Great. Yes, Bobby, please.
You want me to read another one?
Please sing.
I can't sing, Khenpo. No.
I can share
I'll
one
let
that anyone
someone
can sing.
I'll let someone else do the singing.
I can try one.
Okay, roll please.
Thank you.
I will send you here the lyric. I will try in Tibetan, okay? Palonandar jinro we gon radio ma bejalaru izo zanjin bolo gon ginandala gadrinji dajandela gadrinji kadrinyin babon lo no Nyonge jindo jangwa jo jizu yonda da ji yon neme jerin zonan Damba loba minye jejin dambo jejin rubar jo yojo riwa da jejin Mine rumba me baron, loja drula jigi baron, gandu jola jo barjo, da jisa do zondoron. Nandari ladrim baron, jini no warjo jepa, nonge jindo jawarjo, zanji da jinandaro. Jinjin rumba jimba da, jinjin rumba jimba lo. Chadang Gorwa Jom Pabu, Nongi Jin Zerwarju. Maung Gangza Danjila, Gadi Gamba Nujino. Mingowa Goa Jijipe, Gidang Goja Jinya Barju. Tojin Gabo Dujimba, Zonam Badu Mimbayu. Ela Jujingo Wala Gadring Badu Mimbayu. Mingyo Wananda Dombala Jingla Bagdu Mimbayu. Pagme Zunji Jingla Jido Bajinji Rojuni. Samba Danji Dumbarjo da Jini Dami Dada. Nyabo Boji Danje Jinji Darzon Yude Jinjizo. Sadan Juda Dame Dano Nanga Jungwe Werjo Yobo. Ye Jinda Jin Jombar Jo La Du La Jo Jida Da De Jin 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 Da Jumbo Jo Nobo Page Jimi Gejin Sambo Joda Dombar Jo Joja Jimbo Jo Yen Jimbo Jingyang Go We Mami Dongbo Malunga Ji Jimbo Thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, so now anyone has?
I have one that I can sing.
Yes.
This is the 18 Kinds of Yogic Joy. I bow at the feet of the genuine guru. Because of merit gathered, I've met this Lord. The guru with his prophecy is what has brought me here. My comfortable castle, this wooded mountain range. This is a meadowland, so beautiful in bloom. The trees are dancing in the midst of all the trees. This is a place of play where the monkeys and the langurs play. A place where birds speak in bird-like tongues. A land of flying bees on gentle wings, where day runs into night and rainbow paintings shine. Summer runs into winter, a light drizzle falls. Autumn runs into springtime, the mist comes rolling in a solitary place like this. I, the yogi Milarepa, am feeling very clear-eyed well, meditating on emptiness mind. When I get a lot of stuff coming up, I feel extremely well. When the highs roll into lows, feels even better still. Feels so good to be a human being without the karmic deeds. When confusion gets complicated, I feel extremely well. Fearsome visions getting worse and worse, feels even better still. Klesha's birth and death and freedom from those is a good way to feel. With the bullies getting worse and worse, I feel extremely well. When there's not a painful illness inside, feels even better still. The suffering being bliss feels so good that feeling bad feels good. Since the troll core comes from what I am, it feels extremely good. To leap and run about his dance feels even better still. To be a king of speech with a treasury of song feels good. That the words are like the buzzing of bees feels extremely good. that the sound it makes is merit collecting, feels even better still. The bliss is good in the expanse of the confidence of strength of mind. What develops on its own by its own force feels extremely good. What comes out looking like a hodgepodge feels even better still. This happy experience song by a yogi carefree is for you who believe in what you're doing here to take along with you when you go. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Okay, the last one, who has?
I'll read my favorite one, if it's okay. Can you
Yes,
hear me?
yes, Lisa Phyllis is saying.
I really, I'm going to read my favorite poem. Obeisance to all gurus. This is Milarepa and the Pigeon. In accordance with the prophecy of his patron Buddha, Milarepa went to Tibet proper from Yolmo. He arrived at Gutong and lived in a cave, absorbing himself in the meditation of the great illumination. One day, a pigeon wearing golden ornaments came to Milarepa. The bird nodded, bowed, and circled him many times. Then it flew away in the direction of the immaculate rock. Milarepa understood that this must be a spell of the non-men to make him welcome. So he followed the pigeon and went up to the hill, where he found a heap of white rice. The bird pecked the rice with its bill and brought some to Milarepa, as if showing him hospitality and welcome. Milarepa, surprised and delighted, broke into song. O my gracious Guru Marpa, Lo Drangwa, from the depth of my heart I think of you. In deepest earnest I meditate on you. That I never be separated from you is my prayer. Merging the self-mind with the Guru is indeed a happy thing. Manifestation itself is the essence of reality. Through the realization of this unborn Dharmakaya, I merge myself from the realm of non-effort. To both the high and low views am I indifferent. In the mind of non-effort, I feel happiness and joy. The nature of mind is the light and the void. By realizing the awareness of light void, I merge myself in the original state of non-effort. To good and bad experiences am I indifferent. With a mind of non-effort, I feel happiness and joy. The six senses and sense objects of themselves dissolve into the Dharma Dhatu, where the non-differentiation of subject and object is realized. I merge happiness and sorrow into one. I enter the original state of non-effort. To right and wrong actions, I am indifferent. Happy indeed is the non-effort mind. The very nature of the Dharmakaya is identified through its mirrored forms. The mirrored forms are the Nirmanakaya Buddha. With this understanding in mind, whatever circumstances I may encounter, I am free in the happy realm of liberation. To return to the home of Buddha, I have no longing. Happy indeed is this mind of non-effort. Whereupon the pigeon with 7 companions came near to Milarepa. They all bowed to him and circled him many times, as the first bird had done before. Milarepa thought, these pigeons must be non-men. I shall ask them and see whether they will tell the truth. So he said, who are you and why do you come here? The pigeons then broke the spell and displayed their real forms as female devas. Their leader said, we are the angel maidens of heaven. Because we have great faith in you, we come here to learn the Dharma from you. We beseech you to give us the instructions. In response, Milarepa sang, oh, the wondrous transformation body of my Guru, pray kindly grant me your grace wave. You 8 charming maidens of heaven who appeared just now in pigeon form, your spell was fine and in conformity with the Dharma. If you, the 8 beautiful maidens of heaven, wish to practice the white Dharma of Buddha, pray remember the meaning of this song. Though worldly happiness and pleasure seem delightful and pleasing, they soon will pass away. Though high-ranking ladies are proud and exultant in their lofty dignity, what refuge and shelter do they have? To dwell in the fairy home of samsara sometimes seems pleasant, but is mostly misery. If a well-endowed and well-loved son has no respect and makes no self-effort, his father will be nothing but distress. If a disciple commits evil deeds, he must fall into samsara, no matter how superb his guru may be. You maidens of heaven, the conjurers of the pigeons, it is easy for you to ask for Dharma, but hard to have deep faith in it. You should remind yourselves of the inevitable misfortunes connected with worldly joys, the pains and miseries of this life. You should regard as friends, leading you toward nirvana. As for me, I am very grateful for the misfortunes I have met. O my friends, bear this in mind and do the same. The Devas smiled at Milarepa and said, we shall do so. Then they made obeisance and circumambulated him many times. The Jetsun then asked the angels, why did you come here in pigeon form? They replied, you are a yogi who has not the slightest attachment to yourself, nor any desire for this worldly life. It is only for the sake of Bodhi and the welfare of sentient beings that you have remained in solitude and meditated without distraction. With the heavenly eyes, we have been able to see you, and with respect and faith, we now come to you for Dharma. But in order to conceal our real form, from sinful beings, we have transformed ourselves to pigeons. We pray that your reverence will now be kind enough to go up into heaven with us to preach the righteous Dharma for us. But Milarepa replied, as long as life lasts, I shall remain in this world to benefit sentient beings here. You must know that heaven is far from dependable. It is not eternal, and one should not rely on it. To be born in heaven is not necessarily a wonderful thing. You should pay heed and follow these instructions. I bow down at the feet of Marpa Lodrong. O Father Guru, pray, grant me your grace, wave, and accomplishment. Your 8 beauties of the Deva realm have offered me white rice, the wondrous fruit of dhyana. Eating it, my body is strengthened and my mind enlivened. As a token of my gratitude, I sing this song of Dharma to you. Now lift up your ears and listen to me carefully. Even though one reaches the highest heaven of the right devas, it has no permanent value in eating. Lovable and touching are those flowers of youth in heaven, but however pleasant it may seem to be, in the end comes separation. Although the bliss in heaven seems to be very great, it is merely a deceitful mirage, a bewildering hallucination. In fact, it is the very cause of the returning to suffering. Thinking of the miseries of the 6 realms of samsara, I cannot help but have a feeling of disgust and aversion, a feeling of anguish and distressed emotion. Should you intend to practice the teachings of the Buddha, you must take refuge in the 3 precious ones and pray to them. Sentient beings in the 6 realms you should consider as your parents. Give to the poor and offer to the Guru for the benefit of all. Dedicate your merits. Always remember that death may come at any moment. Identify your body with Buddha's body. Identify your own voice with Buddha's mantra. Contemplate the shunyata of self-awakening wisdom, and always try to be master of your mind. There's more, but I think I'll stop.
Lisa. Great, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yes.
This was wonderful.
Okay, so Linda, can you do, you have one?
Yes, we have one. We
Okay.
think it might be a Khenpo song, but we'll sing it anyway.
Khenpo Samdup Rinpoche, we think.
Okay, so here it's a self-appearing illusion. Go ahead, you start.
All these rainbow, all these forms, appearance, emptiness, like a rainbow with its shining glow. In the reaches of appearance, emptiness, just let go and go where no mind goes. Every sound is sound and emptiness, like the sound of an echo's roll. In the reaches of sound and emptiness,
Just let go and go where no mind goes. Every feeling is bliss and emptiness, way beyond what words can show. In the reaches of bliss and emptiness, just let go and go where no mind goes. All awareness, awareness, emptiness, way beyond what thought can know. In the reaches of awareness, emptiness, let awareness go, where no mind goes.
Thank you very much, Linda and Herwin. Okay, so now we're going to do the prayer.
Khenpo?
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know, I know a short dedication song from Milarepa, only 4 lines, and it's very easy to learn. If you'd like to, I can paste it in the chat and sing it.
Okay, so after we do the prayer, the last one, okay?
Mhm.
Sure, the first we do the prayer. David, can you share the screen show?
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to read the Tibetan. Zui, please, can you read English after me, okay?
Yes, Khenpo, thank you.
Ranga Jewara Peda Deng Jebzen Jebai Dorjene Gumdong Hosan Rekar Sor Warar Chinda Sopaye Saye Ninja Tegarati Yombe Nyam Ya Tu Yarar Nam Ye xie wong ai chu pe long zi zi rab de ba war yok yom mi dor jing ger yang zho tu ji da la ze we gong ge nga ye xie nga to xin jie lo ne lo ran ya ran ja war xin jie lo Nam do gom den jawar sin jie lo Jing lam de long war sin jie lo Leng de jeb da par sin jie lo Ta wa kor sai chu par sin jie lo Kor wai shen lo jie war sin jie lo Jalen Karjun Rabar Sinjilo. Go back to English, Zui, please.
Above the crown of my head, upon a lotus and moon, is Jetsun Zepa Dorje. The color of his body is clear blue, and he wears white cotton. The locks of his hair are turned upwards. His right hand is held close at his right ear. His left hand is resting in equanimity mudra, holding a skull cup. Dwelling within an expanse of the turbulent 5 lights of primordial wisdom, utterly blazing with my majestic brilliance, resounding with melodious, invincible Vajra songs, through your compassion, think of me with love. Bless me to attain the 5 kayas and the 5 primordial wisdoms. Bless me to meet with the innate face of the way things are. Bless me so that discursive thoughts arise as meditation. Bless me so that I may bring negative conditions onto the path. Bless me so that negative actions, misdeeds, and obscurations are purified. Bless me so that the pitfalls of the view are severed. Bless me so that I will generate revulsion to samsara. Bless me so that I will accomplish the rainbow body and the kachera.
Om Ai Guru Hasan Ben Zahong Om Ain Guru Hasan Benza Hong. 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 Ye Zhen Ye Bai Dor Ji Ko. Rang Sen Zhe Zha Ni Min Zhi. Chö La Chö Ver Tan Ba Tar. Ming Ming Ngang De English.
The enlightened body of the Jetsun Zepa Dorje and my mind mix without duality, beyond elaboration, like water bubbles dissolving into the water, evenly rest in the state without concepts.
Okay, so now we meditate here together. Couple minutes. Kewan de ye nyor de da sa ja jen bo drup jor ne dro wa je ja ma le ba Teye salang gobar sho.
By this virtue, may I swiftly accomplish Mahamudra, and then may I establish all wandering beings without exception upon that ground. Lord Mila, Laughing Vajra, to you I pray.
Yemelai yebai dorjelai sorwande zo. Yemelai yebai dorjelai sorwande zo. Yemelai yebai dorjelai sorwande zo. Thank you, screen sharing. Okay, so now, James, please do the singing with dedication.
So this is a dedication from one of Milarepa's Vajra songs, and I'll sing it twice so people who may want to try to pick it up on the second time have a chance.
Now we have some screen sharing. Jim, do you want to screen share the text for people, or is it okay with
It's
that?
right. It's right in the chat. It's only 4 lines.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry, we just had that ability.
No problem. May we live long and be free of illness. Enjoy freedom, great resources, and happiness. Next life, may we meet in the pure realm. May we always practice Dharma and benefit beings. May we live long and be free of illness. Enjoy freedom, great resources, and happiness. Next life, may we meet in the pure realm. May we always practice Dharma and benefit beings.
Thank you, James. So now everyone unmute and chant 3 times that prayer together. Okay, unmute. May we live
Long and be free of illness. Enjoy freedom, great resources, and happiness. Next life, may we meet in the pure realm. May we always practice Dharma and benefit. May we live long and be free of illness. Enjoy freedom, great resources, and happiness. Next life, may we meet in the pure realm. May we always practice Dharma and benefit. May we live long and be free of illness. Enjoy freedom, great resources, and happiness. Next life, a pure realm. May we always practice Dharma and benefit.
Next life, may we always practice Dharma and benefit.
Okay, so now we finish a completely program. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you.
Tomorrow, we start
Thank you. Thank you, Khenpo. Thank you.
tomorrow we're going to start at 9 o'clock morning, practice meditation. And then 11 o'clock share the teaching. I'm going to share the absolute truth of Manjushri. So also like take 3 days, and this Saturday, Sunday, and maybe following another Saturday. So 3 days could be finished that teaching. Absolute truth of Manjushri is it is a joking, teaching. So you're welcome to join. If you want to join, so require is a 10,000 Vajrasattva mantra in this month.
10,000
Short Vajrasattva Khenpo.
So Vajrasattva Om Benjar Sato Hong Om Vajra Sato Hong. Okay, it's within 3 weeks you have to finish. The tomorrow is full moon. Chomtor teaching is a very special day. So we have also extra program 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. in the Washington DC time. Tibetan community and all our sangha, everyone join together. So we have a dedication for, especially for who passed away in this year, due to coronavirus. We're going to dedicate for them. So that's the reason tomorrow, the Tibetan community and all our sangha group join together.
Could you repeat that time again, Khenpo? You broke up a little bit.
So tomorrow is full moon day. It's called Chomtor teaching. It's very special month. It's Tibetan called Bumjor Dawa, means like 100,000 times increasing practice, like that day is tomorrow. Means actually one whole month. First Tibetan lunar calendar, first month is called Chomtor Dawa. It's a very important month. So tomorrow is especially full moon. That's why it's Tibetan who live in the Washington DC area there, and we organize together, do the prayer for who passed away due to coronavirus in the world. And that's why, so please join that program, 4 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so then what we have, I think that
Lance, who teaches here at Rican Dharma, is starting off a movie series, and he's going to do it through Zoom, and he's showing a movie on Milarepa tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
okay, so then tomorrow also another is we have
that movie.
Marpa Lota's parinirvana day too. Today is Milarepa's parinirvana day. Tomorrow is Marpa Lota's parinirvana day. So also we can do something. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Join. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Bye.
Good day, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.